our generic inquiries. So if I pop over to System Customization and then Generic Inquiry, this is where I can find the existing generic inquiries in my system, and I can also start to build new ones as well. I'll pull an inquiry that I know already exists, something like my invoiced items. Now what we're doing here is, this is just a bit different from a report, because at this point we are asking Acumatica to produce data for us based on different relations and parameters that we have defined, but we're pulling this information from Acumatica fields, which allows us to actually produce this as an Acumatica screen. So what do I mean by that? Well, here's all of our tables that we've included. Here's how they are related to each other. When I view my inquiry, notice this looks different from that report we saw earlier. It's not a PDF document, but it's actually a screen within Acumatica. So that allows us to do a number of things. It allows us to use pivot tables, for example. So I have a pivot already set up for this particular generic inquiry, and this pivot is looking at sales by product by quarter. So we have our sales data by product by quarter, but how can we take this one step further? If I customize this pivot table, I have a variety of fields that I can pull in, and in this case I'll pull in a filter for state. Very basic, but I'll save and close. When I refresh that pivot table now, I can actually take that filter and start to utilize it within my pivot. So now not only am I seeing sales by product by quarter, but now I'm actually seeing sales by product by quarter by state. So you can see that my states have been grouped together over here in my rows, and then the products being sold within those states as well as by quarter. So you can get very dimensional as to how you utilize Acumatica reporting and analytics. Last thing I will say about these generic inquiries, and let me just take that same invoiced items example that we were looking at, is you can expose these via OData using Acumatica APIs. So you can push this data out over our APIs and use a tool like Power BI, which is Microsoft's business intelligence tool, to take your analytics a few steps further. I'd like to thank you for joining me today. If you care for a deeper dive demonstration based on your own organization's functionality and requirements, please reach out to your local Acumatica reseller or contact the number you're seeing up on your screen, or via info@acumatica.com.